For the men ashore, there was still much more to do. Their deeds in the coming days would demonstrate to the Vietnamese, in fact, that the democracy we take for granted is more than idle political theory. For a people whose very existence depends on the crops they cultivate, the most effective sort of civic action had to be in the fields and rice paddies, where the golden fleece was ready for harvest. This wasn't the time to challenge their ancient methods, to marvel at the crude machinery that has served their hands for hundreds of years. The story of the harvesters and reapers, tools of our 20th century, would come later. The important job was to bring in the crop to safety, away from the still very real threat of Vietcong attack and direct gangland-style collection of rice tax, a tax that in the past has amounted to as much as 75% of the crop. To bring in the golden fleece of the native harvest, the same amphibious tractors that had carried the American servicemen into military action were used now to implement this phase of the civic action. The people, too, had to be brought in from the fields to the collection point. Here they were given a safe haven, while the diplomats in dungarees brought to a conclusion a people-to-people program that began 10,000 miles away in the homes, churches, and businesses of the United States. They carried out a program which did more than words to dispel the distrust born of years of unfriendly propaganda. There still were some doubting Thomases. But in Vietnam, as everywhere else, there is still one sure route to the heart of a man. For the little ones, of course, there is no understanding of such words as people to people and political ideologies. But the babies unfold to warmth and kindness and food. And with the responsiveness of all children, their bigger brothers soon decide the people-to-people concept should work both ways. Nearby, the rice was being stored away with American servicemen and Vietnamese people, young and old, working side by side in the sort of cooperative effort that is doing the most to put forward our mission in Vietnam. To the Vietnamese, every bit of the crop is vital. The straw of the rice stalks is transformed into the mats on which they sit, the ropes that tie their bundles, the sandals on their feet, even the roofs over their heads. And every single grain of rice is cherished. Soldiers of the Army of the Republic of Vietnam and American officers worked side by side in Operation Golden Fleece. With the grain stored and the needs of the flesh attended to, it was time for another phase of our civic action. The story translated into pictures of the kind of help our technological advances can provide during future harvests along the Cam Bien River. The same Amtrak that carried out the fighting men and brought in the grain became a crude but effective motion picture theater. To the men who handed out the pamphlets that amplified the story told by the film, it was clear that the villagers were interested, and our positive action was wiping away the generations-old veneer of distrust and doubt. But whatever the method, whenever the harvest, the rice crop represents life itself to these people of Vietnam. Certainly, no Jason ever found a more truly golden fleece. Operation Golden Fleece was a classic example of combined military and civic action. Its fulfilled aim was to supplement the capabilities, needs, and aspirations of a people, so that one day when we are gone, they will be able to carry on alone.